Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Whether you're listening during your commute, while working out, or just relaxing at home, we appreciate you. Every download, every listen, and every subscription means a lot. Up next, the 12 Kyle podcast.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to paint their door a vibrant shade of blue. Others have the need to decorate their bathroom with fish, anchors, and other nautical items. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.
What's this chapter called in your life right now? What's the title of this? So all my podcasters out there, y'all want to take time out in y'all show. Not even send me any feedback. Matter of fact, send me the feedback through your show. Huh? Okay? That's the question. What's this chapter called right now in your life right now? Mine is called leadership. Mine is called leadership because I'm uncomfortable, and I've been uncomfortable since I got back to the States. I've been feeling very uncomfortable. I had some things shifted and changed in my work career, and I feel a change, and every time I feel a change, I feel uncomfortable, and every time I feel uncomfortable is to know there's another level I'm supposed to be going to, and I may be not necessarily holding myself back, but hesitant and nervous about the next level, because the next level may come with additional responsibilities.
You know what? That's a great question. What you just heard was the voice of my brother, fellow podcaster, good friend, the homie, my little bro, Baylor the Great. He recently had an episode where he was giving PSAs, but at the end of his podcast episode, he asked that question. Baylor, I'm in this chapter is called 3rd and 13. And I'll explain that in just a second for those people who don't know what that means. But much like Baylor, I'm in a position where, at 52 years old, I'm realizing a lot about life, and I'm realizing a lot about myself as well. If you're fortunate enough to hit that 50 mark, you are able to, if you're smart, you're able to look at your life, look at the life that you've led. And then part of it is, realizing that, wow, it's been 50 years. Like, it doesn't feel like I've been here 50 years. But you also look at the fact that maybe, just maybe, you probably got another 50 left, right? And so maybe the first 50 was about doing these things to get to this point. And then the next 50 will be about you doing what it is that you want to do. And I'm not saying that I'm going to live another 50 years. I may live longer than that. Who knows? I definitely don't want to mark myself. I'd like to be here till 125, but I mean, that's up for God to decide. But ultimately, the 3rd and 13, I feel like I'm in a spot where it's constantly third down. And if you follow football, 3rd and 13 is a passing down. It's where it's third down, and before you get to 4th down, you have to gain at least 13 yards to get another first down. So you got to get 13 more yards to proceed. And I feel like that's where I am in life. Like right now, particularly this year in particular, life has been a bunch of third downs so far this year. And much like what Baylor said, it's been very uncomfortable. But the thing is, I'm built for it, right? I think when we go through adversity or we go through rough times, there are some people who will stand and say, well, why is this happening? This can't be. Like, why do I have to do this? And I think that's a natural human emotion. But once you get beyond the emotion, it comes back to, okay, what are you going to do about it? I mean, like, that has been, one of my favorite sayings, and I can't even own the saying. I got that from my homeboy, Zell, his father, the late Ezekiel Washington Sr. He would say, well, what are you going to do about it? And so that's where I am. It's 3rd and 13. And as many of you know, or maybe you don't know, I played football in college at South Carolina State University, and I played wide receiver. And so if you have a 3rd and 13, a wide receiver's eyes light up because you know that that's a passing down, and you know that there's a possibility that you're going to get the ball. And the type of player that I am and was back then, and even now, I want the ball. You know, I'm not afraid of the moment or anything like that. I've always had that confidence in myself to get things done and to make things happen. And that extends to it extended from, you know, a young man playing football to now a old man who's a father and a husband and a provider and so forth and so on, a friend, and, you know, all the other things that make up me. But it's 3rd and 13. And so, like, I have to deal with the fact that it's 3rd down and it's 13. And I'm not really sure about, you know, what is going to happen. But I also, in not being sure, I like the fact that it is 3rd and 13 and I know I'm getting the ball. So throw it to me. That's all I ask. Throw it to me and I'm going to make a play. So there's a level of, it's particularly as I move forward in my career, you know, you start looking at retirement, and that's crazy to think that, you know, at some point I'm going to say, okay, well, hey, I'm going to shut it down. And I'm not going to say if, when I get to that point, you know, I want to make sure that I'm not only set up for me to retire. I don't want to be one of these people who are, you know, half retired, half working. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I want to just really just be able to kick my feet up, travel, you know, be around my kids, my wife, and, you know, in the event at some point down the road, many, many years down the road, I have grandkids, be around them and support them. But yeah, it's 3rd and 13 at this point in time. And, you know, 3rd and 13 is a passing down. And then, you know, naturally the idea is to ask, well, how do we get 3rd and 13? So that means we had 2 downs where we didn't make any yardage. Well, maybe we did. Maybe we took a couple of steps forward and then we got a loss. We had a loss. But the one thing that I've learned in life is that you really can't complain about the missteps. You learn from them, but then you move forward. Like, that's the ultimate thing. Because here's the thing. You can complain about what's happening, but guess what? That clock's going to keep on ticking. The world's going to keep spinning. You have no control of it. Now, you could fall down and kick and scream and be mad about the thing that didn't go right, or the thing that went left that was supposed to go right, or the thing that didn't go your way. But ultimately, no, you got to be okay with it being 3rd and 13 and understanding that, okay, we're coming back to you. You know, maybe on 1st down, you didn't get the ball. Maybe on 2nd down, you didn't get the ball. But 3rd and 13, you're getting the ball. And so you have to be ultimately, you have to have the ultimate belief in yourself as to what you can do next. Are you feeling nostalgic for the golden eras of rap and soul music? If so, tune in to the Rap Soul Podcast. We are your weekly journey through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, spotlighting the music and the hidden gems that shaped the soundtrack of our lives. From the powerful beats to the soulful melodies, we bring you the best of the past with fresh insights and stories. Rediscover the music that defined a generation. Subscribe to the Rap Soul Podcast and enjoy the vibes. If you want a podcast where culture, conversation, and life collide, where you get insightful commentary, engaging discussions, and a fresh perspective on everything, then you need to listen to the 12 Kyle podcast, hosted by the one and only, yours truly, 12 Kyle, a voice that you know and trust. This podcast will bring you thought-provoking moments, compelling stories, and a whole lot of fun. Whether you're a first-time listener or just tuning in, each episode promises to be something new and exciting. So sit back, relax, join 12 Kyle, myself, and my guests as we break down the world around us and give you stories that you've never heard before, from nostalgic throwbacks to everything in between. The 12 Kyle podcast is a front row seat to this conversation. Subscribe now and never miss an episode of the 12 Kyle podcast, where the vibe is always real and the discussion is always worth your time.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to leave up holiday decorations year-round. Others have the need to use their garage as practice space for their new metal band. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.
Next. And that's where I am. And so to answer Baylor's question, it's truly 3rd and 13 for me. And I think I didn't anticipate 2025 being 3rd and 13, but this is where I am in life, and I'm okay with being uncomfortable. I think being uncomfortable keeps an edge to some degree. Like you never get, I don't think you should ever get comfortable at anything in life, but because once you get comfortable, you get content. I don't ever want to be content about anything, whether it be family, friends, relationships, your work, anything. I don't want to be content, because I think when you get content, you lose that motivation to keep pushing forward. And I'm always wanting to take the next step forward. Like Baylor mentioned, there's another level for me to go to. And with it being 3rd and 13, you got to go to it. And 3rd and 13 for me may consist of me running a 15-yard pass pattern across the middle of the field. Well, if I'm running a pass pattern across the middle of the field, not literally, but figuratively, I know that the ball is coming. Two things are going to happen. One, I'm going to get a chance to catch the ball. And 2, I'm probably going to get hit. So if you know number 2 is going to happen, then why not be prepared for number 1? Because number 2 is inevitable. You're going to get hit. That's the name of the game. And so it's hard to prepare for the obstacles that may come your way. But if you're prepared, then it makes it a little bit easier for you to navigate those obstacles. It doesn't mean that they won't happen. It doesn't mean that bad things don't happen. I mean, like, for example, it can be disheartening sometimes to open up Facebook and you see people that you know, or people that are related to the people that you know, and they passed away. And you don't have to scroll far on Facebook. If you got enough Facebook friends, you don't have to scroll far on Facebook to see somebody's going to lose somebody. I mean, it's a natural progression. It's life. I mean, this is where we are, right? And then you're going to have, even to see having friends and family members have health issues. And, you're only going to put yourself in that shoes and be like, okay, well, what am I doing? Am I doing something health-wise to keep me from being in that position? If somebody has diabetes, what am I doing not to get diabetes? That type of thing. If I have heart issues, what am I doing to prevent my heart issues? So forth and so on. My point in saying that is that, we just have to be self-aware, and you have to acknowledge your strengths and your weaknesses. And you have to also understand that, for me, 3rd and 13 means that, I have to make a play. There's no ins or outs about it. There's no doubt about it. A play has to be made, because I don't want to get to 4th down, right? I don't want to get to 4th down, because being at 4th down makes it even more difficult. Now, all of the pressure is always going to be on you. It's what you do with that pressure. And so I'm at a stage in my life where, it's definitely 3rd and 13. And, I could either complain about it being 3rd down and 13 yards to go, or I could say, okay, hey, you know what? Give me the ball. Let's call a play. We may even have to audible from that play, meaning we may have to change the play at the line of scrimmage. And that's part of what Baylor talked about that I want to talk about as well, is being flexible. You have to be flexible, because you may have a plan. And I'm telling my kids this too, as they get older, as they're starting to branch out into their lives and their careers. You may have a plan, and the plan may not go the way that you thought that it was going to go. Okay, but what are you going to do? Are you going to pivot? Or are you going to fall on the ground, kick your feet up, and get mad and cry? Because here's the thing about the latter. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares if you fall on the ground and kick your feet up and cry, because the world is going to keep spinning. So the biggest question is, where are you in that chapter of your life? Where are you in this chapter of your life, and how would you define it? For me, it's 3rd down and 13 yards to go. And I know that it's time for me to get the ball. Throw me the ball, and I'm going to make something happen. Again, I may feel uncomfortable with it being 3rd down, but there's a level of comfort that comes in knowing that you're going to get the ball. And one thing I'll share with you guys that I've always felt like, just as a player, not in the, I'm going to talk about the literal sense, not the not the imaginable, but as a player, when you're running, well, at least for me, if I'm running a pattern and the ball is in the air, there's a level of comfort that comes over your body once you know that the ball's coming to you. Everything is tense until you see that ball. When you see that ball, everything, you relax, the focus is there, and if you're as focused as I am, you can see the dimples on a football if you're focused. But I said all that to say this, it's 3rd down and 13 for me. And I'm okay with it. I'm not going to say I was totally okay with it, when I realized it was 3rd and 13, but at this point it's go time, and you don't have time to waste time, because it's 3rd down and 13 for me. I'm not sure what season you're in, but whatever season you're in, just understand that that season will pass and you'll move on to another chapter. And as we turn the chapters of our lives, make sure that you make this chapter that you're currently in better for yourself for the next chapter, because there's going to be a next chapter. There's going to be another opportunity for you to shine. And when that opportunity comes, take the most of it. Value any and everything that you have, because material possessions come and go, people come and go. That's the cycle of life. But at the end of the day, understand the chapter that you are in your life, and embrace it. And more importantly than anything else, understand what you bring to that chapter. Understand the mistakes that you've made, and understand that you got this. Not because of anything, that I've said or done, but you got it because you're here and you know that you can do it. And once you know you can do something, that makes it easier for everybody and everything. The problem is if you tell yourself that you can't do it. If you tell yourself you can't do it, there's nothing anybody else can tell you, But surround yourself with people who tell you that you can. Give yourself grace and understand when you can and when you can't. But when you can, do the most that you can, because ultimately you'll thank yourself for it in the next chapter. 5,000.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of the 12 Kyle podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and share this podcast with a friend who needs the 12 Kyle podcast in their life. Every listen, every download, and every share helps us grow. Thanks for being a part of the 12 Kyle podcast community. We appreciate your support. We will catch you next time. 5,000.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to paint their door a vibrant shade of blue. Others have the need to decorate their bathroom with fish, anchors, and other nautical items. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.